Hello art lovers, welcome to the art series produced by Goes Art, art in the streaming space.
Schönen guten Morgen, herzlich willkommen im MUMOC. Mein Name ist Fatima Hellberg, bin wie Sie auch wissen, seit 1. Oktober hier im Haus als Generaldirektorin. Ich freue mich sehr, dass wir heute auch gemeinsam mit der Künstlerin und Schriftstellerin Claudia Pagès Rabal die Ausstellung Feudal Holes öffnen und dass wir auch heute Morgen gemeinsam mit der Künstlerin und auch mit dem Kurator Franz Thalma die Ausstellung jetzt gemeinsam sehen dürfen. Aber was natürlich auch sehr wichtig ist bei Claudia Pagès Rabals Praxis ist, dass es sehr viel mit Recherche, Schichten von Macht, Aspekte von Migration, komplexe Themen, die Zeit brauchen, Differenzierung, die auch eine bestimmte Form von Komplexität auch beinhalten. So ich freue mich sehr, dass wir einerseits diese sehr visuellen und schöne Arbeiten gemeinsam jetzt zusammen ansehen, aber natürlich auch, dass die Stimme von Franz, aber auch die Künstlerin, dass das uns heute begleitet.
Auch von meiner Seite herzlich willkommen. Mein Name ist Franz Thalma. Ich freue mich, Claudia Pagès Rabal im MUMOC begrüßen zu dürfen. Fatima hat schon gesagt, es ist ein Kooperationsprojekt zwischen Chisenhale Gallery in London und dem MUMOC. Und die Kooperation besteht in erster Linie darin auch, dass wir gemeinsam den ersten Katalog der Künstlerin publizieren. Das heißt, das ist ein schöner Moment, finde ich, quasi in einer künstlerischen Karriere sozusagen ein erstes größeres Statement einfach auch in Buchform irgendwie zu haben. Claudia Pagès Rabal, I'm going to explain things in German and then we are going to do in English. Please trust me. I'm not going to talk bad about you. Claudia Pagès Rabal wurde 1990 in Barcelona geboren, ist eine katalanisch-spanische Künstlerin. Ich kehre diesen Moment sozusagen in ihrer Biografie auch hervor, weil quasi dieses Aufwachsen zwischen den Kulturen und das Aufwachsen sozusagen mit zwei Sprachen, aber auch das Aufwachsen am Mittelmeer, sozusagen an der Küste des Mittelmeers. Und Barcelona ist ja eine wichtige Handelsstadt, war eine wichtige Handelsstadt, ist immer noch eine wichtige Handelsstadt, ist quasi auch prägend, würde ich sagen, für die Arbeit von Claudia Pagès Rabal. Prinzipiell setzt sie sich auseinander mit Themen wie zum Beispiel die Geschichte der Iberischen Halbinsel, globale Migrationsbewegungen, die territoriale Inanspruchnahme und Kontrolle sowie die kulturelle Vielfalt und vor allem auch die Durchlässigkeit des mediterranen Raums, das heißt die kulturelle Durchlässigkeit des mediterranen Raums. Die Recherche von Claudia führt uns im MUMOC in die sogenannte Spanische Mark. Die Spanische Mark, das war ein Grenzgebiet zwischen dem damaligen Frankreich und Spanien, zwischen dem heutigen Frankreich und Spanien. Das war eine Pufferzone quasi, wo die französischen oder die christlichen Karolinger sich gegenüber den Muslimen von Al-Andalus quasi verteidigen wollen. Und diese Pufferzone ist quasi der Ausgangspunkt für Claudias Recherchen. In dieser Pufferzone stehen heute Überreste von Überwachungstürmen. Und diese Überwachungstürme waren auch der Ausgangspunkt für die Ausstellung in der Chisenhale Gallery. Dort quasi hat sie mit 5 Defense Towers, also mit fünf dieser Überwachungstürme gearbeitet. Hier im MUMOC präsentiert sie sozusagen ihre Recherchen zu einem 6. Turm. Und dieser 6. Turm sozusagen findet sich im Inneren des Raums. Manche von Ihnen haben es schon gesehen. Wir gehen dann gemeinsam durch.
Yeah. So we just turned it off now for the press conference. Perhaps afterwards you can have a look or listen if you know it.
Yeah, there is these two sort of video sculptures, time machines. They're like the same, they're recorded in the same tower through different points of views, through different gazes. And these towers, I think, as Francis explained it, they were part of what was called the Spanish March, which was a buffer zone between like forces, no? And of course, like these buffer zones, then after in history, they're like time superposes, no? These kind of places, and time becomes very like superposed and physical, no? They use also like these tower defenses for like then create feudalism, no? That's why it comes also this kind of like the title of Feudal Holes, because they're like these vertical structures that will bring the gaze of the paranoid gaze, no, the one who settles, the one who like is always in defense, no. And so basically, after this show of Chisentel, in which it was more like a theater video show, kind of like waiting for the dot, storytelling, that were different performers trying to get into one of these towers, and we talk about time and yeah, settlement, different topics. And it was more like a music, actually, like a little opera for camera. Here we want to like focus on all the topics of like enclosure and gaze and verticality and cartography, like that it will be just in the form. So I went to record in this tower, and I put a drone inside it. And for this one, like the verticality of the tower, I just flatten it up into this kind of like duel by just like focusing on this kind of like hole which turns banal because it's where like now teenagers go to hang out and throw the beers and throw the trash, no? And in that one, I focus on this becoming like turning the sculpture into the same tower, turning the sculpture in the same materiality in which the whole, the end is not visible. So they're kind of like, what one negates, the other is there, and what the other negates, which is the verticality, is there. So they kind of like conflict each other as like two sculptures that work with this cartography, and then yeah, they're like failed monuments, no, of paranoid, like history, and also like I mean like they always explain like these towers were used to like defense against the Saracens, no, the Moorish, blah blah, and then we're actually used both sides, and it doesn't really matter. No? It's this kind of like superposition of paranoid, now like upside down.
I mean, you sometimes describe your work as counter-cartography, no? What is this idea of counter-cartography in these machines, for example, or?
Counter-cartography is what happened there. Mm-hmm. So and there's like I was these sculptures made me start to like read about counter-cartography, and of course I live in Barcelona, so the Mediterranean is like the place for pleasure, the place I swim all year long, and the place of death right now, and like violence in all cases. So it's always hard when summer stops, and then everybody goes to swim, blah blah, and I'm like, this is becoming like more and more problematic. And I was reading at the time a lot about counter-cartography, and counter-cartography is actually using maps, and here is the Mediterranean map, and normally you will see Mediterranean map with a ship going from Europe to somewhere else in the Middle East or North Africa will be not good, no? Probably what will happen. Counter-cartography is the safe passages, for example, that now people can do from North Africa to Europe, no? And in these cases, like what I did is I was reading all about this, and at the same time, the map I always had in my laptop was this map that Forensic Architecture, which is a department in Goldsmith in England, they provided a tracking system for all the flotillas that went to Gaza as a way of like bringing them like visibility, so safer passage. And I was reading about this and having this map, so I started to think, okay, this is the map that I have to take care, I have to work with, and I think also it comes from feeling useless, no, in these times, and being an artist and feeling totally desperate and useless. So I started to like screenshot, and in this map, basically they show how the ship, like the flotillas, move towards there, and so I will screenshot every day or every hour or once in the morning, once in the evening, and they put the coordinates and everything. So I started just to track it. And I had this roll of paper that is like cigarette paper, so it's very fragile, so I started to like fold one paper, then fold the other one, and each one of them, like these maps also, they tell you like the borders of the countries, the national waters, the rescue zones, international waters, deep sea, and all the tracking systems. So each one of them also like exemplifies this, which it's a work that maybe doesn't finish in the work. It's a work that probably it finishes outside, or like or it's a starting point for something else. And now these websites are down, so I don't know. I talked with the forensic architecture, telling them that.
Follow the art series in streaming and become part of Goes Art now. See you soon!